am. I'm back with another What's on My Mind. And today's episode is going to be a fun one. We cover so many different topics with my guest today. But something that we do get into is just staying connected and community. We kind of talk about opportunities or moments in life where community can show up, or people that you've worked with, and not looking to people that might work below you or next to you as less than, and only looking up to the people above you, because you never know when you might collaborate, come together. It's more so making sure that every room and every space that you create feels like a collaborative one, and that you're all working together for one bigger mission. And I think we get a sense of that from my guest and all the spaces that he's created, and that sense of community that you feel. And you will only find success in those moments and feel as happy as my guest shares that he ultimately feels now when you are creating spaces like that. So let's get right into this episode. It's a fun one, as usual, and I hope that you enjoy. Let's get into it. All right, Albert, I'm so happy to have you on the pod.
Thanks for having me. Super happy to be here.
You're a man of many hats, and
So
we're gonna get into it. I'm probably not even gonna cover it all when I introduce you right now, but I'm so excited to have Albert on. He is a music exec, A&R, and cultural strategist shaping the future of Latin music. He's worked with Karol G, Fade, and J. Cole, now leads his own agency, and is also the founder of the Global Tumbao DJ collective.
That's pretty spot on.
Yeah?
That's good, yeah.
I try to get it all. I was
and
trying to
that's
figure...
like a good
yeah.
sentence, long, cut up perfectly.
I could copy and paste send it to you. So you can...
yeah, I'm going to send it to me.
I was like, how do I put this all into like one sentence?
Well, that's perfect. You did great.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to get into our starting 5 questions. You ready?
Let's do it.
You can be a fly on the wall for any iconic moment in pop culture. What would it be?
A moment would be in the studio watching Tego Calderon make Pa Que Retosen. Can you imagine just like the intro to that beat and him just figuring out the lyrics? Or I don't know what his process is, but just
sitting there.
Iconic.
Oh my God. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I might make that my future answer. I think it's cool to think about like when a beat or a drop was heard for the first time, and just like,
it's just iconic. Yeah. That's such an iconic song. It's probably one of my favorite reggaeton songs of all time. It's just dark, ominous. It talks about so much, and his performance on that song is unique.
Okay. So a DJ crowd pet peeve outside of song requests.
Oh, I was literally about to say that. DJ pet peeve. You know what's a pet peeve of mine?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna talk for the guys in the room. Guys, like, when you're at a space and, you know, DJ's playing, don't crowd the front of the DJ booth like a group of guys.
Yeah.
Let the girls be up front.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
ladies first.
Ladies first, you know, honestly, like the more women there are in the crowd, you know, the more you guys can approach and do your thing. But if it's just like a wall of men at the front of the DJ booth, you're intimidating everyone.
Yeah. So, and no one shouts like women do.
And no one shouts like women do, you know? So appease to ladies, you know? That's how my approach to DJing, I play for the ladies, and then the guys will come.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so what city has the best crowd energy? Putting you on the spot.
I'm a little bit biased. I mean, I want to say Miami but aside from Miami, I'd say Medellin, Colombia.
Okay.
And I'm also a little bit biased. I'm Colombian, but I'm not from Medellin.
Yeah.
But Medellin, they don't care. They're not shy. 9 p.m. they're already getting down perreo, like crazy.
I love that. Yeah.
And they know their music. Like if you're messing up, or if you're not playing what it is and reading the crowd, like the crowd
they'll call you out.
Yeah. I don't know about call you out, but it's definitely you're gonna feel it.
You're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
I love a city that starts partying early, because I'm like, when you go to certain cities, they don't start the parties till 3 a.m. I'm like,
that's Miami. That's Miami. You're getting ready at 11 and you're going out by 1. Yeah. It's insane.
Okay, so what's a reggaeton hot take that would get you in trouble?
Reggaeton hot take?
This is a safe space.
I would say that Colombian reggaeton is up there, getting there with Puerto Rican reggaeton. Okay. I feel like it's a symbiotic relationship. I think that one feeds the other. Yeah. And because of that, I think that other cities have been spawning their own types of reggaeton, like Mexa reggaeton from Argentina and Chile. Chilean reggaeton is also killing it. Yeah. So I think that I think reggaeton isn't let me rephrase that. Reggaeton is not unifaceted anymore. I think that everyone's exploring the thing, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, because people they'll get like, don't ever compare to Puerto Rican
reggaeton.
reggaeton.
It's the same thing in hip hop. You know, you can say the same thing. So.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, lastly, what's your secret recipe for the perfect day off?
I would have to say it depends what the weather is like.
Okay.
I'm a very outdoor.
Let's say it's good weather.
Let's say it's a beautiful day. The beach.
Okay.
I mean, I'm born and raised in Miami. I think going to the beach, chilling, just listening to the waves, maybe playing a beautiful album, or it could be just like a turn up, you know?
Yeah. Beach
is always a go-to.
Yeah.
For a day off.
I love a good beach day. I've learned to appreciate it more now living in Miami.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, look how tan we are.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Okay, let's switch gears and get into our conversation. When we were talking about what you want to talk about in this episode, as we do with all our guests, you really wanted to be honest and open about where you are in your life right now, what you've gone through, and you've dealt with a lot in the recent, you would say, months.
Let's say within the last year.
Within the last year, you know, you had grief, you've dealt with loss, heartbreak, life changes. So walk us through that and like it all hitting you all at once. Because I feel like there's that saying of like, when it comes, it all comes down. It feels like it's all coming all at once. I forget what the popular saying is, but there's that thing of like, when it rains, it pours.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah. So can you walk us through that?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely wanted to be very open. I feel like nowadays, I think people are so fixated on, you know, Instagram and, you know, almost like curating your life to the masses. And I feel like people don't see, you know, what really happens behind the scenes and, you know, what somebody might be going through. And, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like whether you're in a professional setting or personal setting, nobody wants to see like the very down, sad person. Like we all gravitate towards positivity and, you know, but the reality is that we all have problems and we all go through them. And I think that, you know, that's called adversity. And I think that, you know, the biggest thing about adversity is how you handle it. Yeah. And I think that because of the things that have happened to me, they've all been technically negative, but I think that at the end of the day, it's been positive. Yeah. And I think that it's shifted my life in a very positive way. Knowing what I want to do, you know, just being a little bit more, I guess, intentional with how I move. Yeah. But yeah, I think it was just like a snowball effect, one after the other, and I think that they say bad things comes in threes. Yeah. And so yeah, between ending a pretty serious relationship, then 2 months later losing or getting laid off at my job of 6 years, where I was excelling, to then losing my dog, which was like my sidekick since I was in college. So, and that was over 10 years ago. So, and how did that show up in terms of like your body, your creativity, physically and mentally? Like, how did that impact you? Yeah, I think honestly, the first two happened pretty close to each other, and I think that the natural inclination, and especially as a man, is feeling inadequate. Inadequacy is like a very heady thing that happens, and I'll come on here and say like I went to therapy to deal with all the stuff that was happening, and I think that I think inadequacy, and especially as a man, you know, I feel like, you know, we're providers, you know, we're, you know, that person for someone in a relationship. Within your own self, having that self-confidence is very key in how we carry ourselves and how we deal with life, you know, in general. Yeah. So I think it was that. I was getting over the inadequacy of feeling like you're not worthy, or, you know, something like that. Yeah. And I think in turn, because of those things, like I learned, you know, whether from the professional standpoint, I feel like I knew that I was more than capable, and I've proven it multiple times within, you know, my tenure at Universal. And then outside of it too, you know, I started my own company like about a year ago, and I couldn't be happier, honestly, you know. Yeah. I feel like I take on projects that I personally love, and projects that I believe in and that represent me as a person. And then personally, I think as well, I think that, you know, you kind of take a step back and you see like it does take two to tango. You realize your own faults, you grow from them, and then you see what you want you know, personally for yourself and what you envision. And yeah, it's just like a very big learning lesson. And both of those, you know, I think being clear about what you want and having a North Star and realizing and having that self-awareness to see where you also messed up is super important too.
Thank you for sharing that, because I think it's so, like, being so vulnerable to say, like, I felt inadequate, and saying, like, I think so many Latino men, especially thinking about machismo culture and, like, feeling like they have to provide in a very particular way. And I think what men are starting to learn slowly but surely, especially through, like, therapy and conversations, is that, like, you can be masculine in other ways. It's not, like, just financially.
Yeah, I think there's nothing more masculine than having a woman feel comfortable with you and sharing that vulnerability. And I'm gonna go on the record and say that the relationship didn't end because of infidelity or anything like that. It was just circumstances, you know, life, you know.
And that happens, and that happens. And I feel like when someone loses a job too, and, like, also when you're going through grief, it's almost like as a man, sometimes you're expected, or even just in hustle culture, you're almost expected to get over it right away, and, like, that's it, like, one day.
And I think that also having a healthy support system is also very beneficial. I have really great friends, great family, and everybody held me down during those dark times.
Was there, like, a moment that felt like a first breath? Was it starting your company?
I think the first breath was when I started my company. I think that people who know me or know of me know my relationship with Fade. And as soon as I got laid off, they were the first people to say, like, we got you. Like, let us figure out, like, a structure, but we're going to take care of you. Like, we know, like, nothing's going to change. And so I have to, you know, tip my hat off to them and give them their flowers. They're very gracious, gave me an opportunity, and that built some confidence to keep things going, you know?
But that just goes to show how much you contributed to their lives, that they want to give back to you at your lowest
for
point.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. And I think that it's been quite the ride with them for the past 5 years. So.
And how, you know, you mentioned Fade. How was it watching artists like him blow up the way that before the world noticed, watching that climb, to watch him go from what he did? And you've done that with multiple artists, seeing that climb of, like, blowing up. How was that experience?
I think with Fade in particular, it was really interesting because I met him during the pandemic. So it was just like an interesting, like, Zoom conversation. I remember being at a photo shoot with J Balvin.
Oh, wow.
He was doing a photo shoot. I told Jose, I'm like, hey, sorry, I have to take this Zoom call, but you're good. You know, they're doing the pictures or whatever. So I take the call, and I'm wearing a mask, and he's over there on the other side. And I typically, when I meet a new client, I always have, like, a kind of, like, almost like an interview process with them. And I ask them certain questions to kind of gauge where they're at, where their head's at, their vision. And just based off that conversation, that little 15-minute conversation, I was like, oh, this kid is the truth. Like, he's got it. And he's going to be a problem. And at that moment, Porfa remix had just come out. And yeah, just seeing that climb and him growing into himself, changing from what he was before into, like, what we know as Fercho. Before, there was no green, there was no, you know, hairdo or anything. There's no formula. He was just kind of A/B testing, and his relationship with his fans has made him into what he is today. And I think that a lot of people don't listen to their fan base and don't take the time to understand them. But to your question, I guess watching it happen and contributing to it is beautiful. You know, I think that it's fulfilling. It's helping someone reach their dreams come true, and seeing them shine in that way is, you know, there's no feeling like that.
And how was it from an expert lens, seeing, because again, you're working with all these different artists who are blowing up. Like, I felt like people saw Bad Bunny blow up and thought, like, oh, that's like a one-hit situation. But now we're seeing all these other artists have such big impact on, like, mainstream culture. Like, what is, from your lens, like, how was it watching all of this happen?
I think that's a great question, because I feel like my life has been, and thank God, but I've been, like, at the right place at the right time for certain things. And so when I came to work at Universal here in Miami, that's right when that was happening. And I caught that wave, and seeing it happen is really cool, because I feel like it's like I think it's a product of it starts with millennials, right? And I think that there's a lot of people like you and I who are first generation born here, and I think that we gravitate towards culture and fashion and music, and I think that everything was kind of shifting in the sense that like Benito was rapping over trap beats at that point, and trap was big in 2014, 15 in Atlanta, and so we're so accustomed, us like the US centric, kids and demo of listening to that kind of music. So when we heard Benito come in with a special tone of voice over trap that we're already listening to, it's like, whoa, this is dope. And he looked, like us, he was very, I feel like, very much like one of us, and then seeing that happen over and over again, the themes of what they were talking about, the beats that were being produced by, people like Tiny and Sky Rompiendo. I think that all that sonically matched with the themes, matched with how they're dressing, the fashion and everything. I think that it was the perfect storm. And so being able to get into Universal right at that point was just critical.
Yeah.
And also obviously having knowledge in what US culture is and knowledge of being Latino and being from Colombia. I think, it's just everything just right place.
That must have been an adrenaline rush.
It was. And it's the job that I had was a dream come true, and I'm still living that dream. So
yeah. So I want to talk about skateboarding because I found that to be such a cool part of your interest. And how is skate culture a part of your life?
I mean, skate culture is like the biggest cornerstone in my life, actually. And I don't think a lot of people know that.
No, I did not know that. So this is why I'm like.
So from the ages of like 9 to like 16, I was skateboarding.
Oh.
And I think that skateboarding is super important and vital because if it wasn't for skateboarding, I think that I wouldn't have met a lot of the kids that I did growing up, inner city kids that were maybe more into punk or more into electronic music or more into hip hop, and everybody dressed different. And I think that made me the well-rounded individual that I am today. I think that some of the most influential people came from skateboarding too. I mean, my idol, for example, and somebody that I use as reference a lot, Pharrell, he comes from that world too. And I think that a lot of people mimic, fashion or, the attitude or what the edginess of skateboarding brings. And I mean, we see it today. You go and you look at, I mean, Pharrell's like, what is it? I don't even know what we're on, like maybe like summer or what is it, spring or fall of this year. You look at the Louis Vuitton lookbook, it's all like varsity jackets, big, thick shoes, like from back in the day, denim. And so I feel like it's all inspired in that, and you see it in folks like Benito, you see it in Fade, Fade just did a song where he had Tony Hawk in his video, Jayco as well. He had like a whole Vida Rockstar thing around skateboarding, and he was skateboarding in like the promo campaign. So I think it's pretty big, and I think people don't realize that.
Yeah. And I love that you talk about the community part of it because I feel like some activities or sports like skateboarding get a bad rep. Like it's almost seen as like troublesome, like these troubled kids are like out here skateboarding, causing a ruckus almost, versus like this is an actual sport that people compete in and find community in like you do. And do you sense that too? Like
100%. Yeah. And I think that so much so that brands tap into those communities, big brands go and invest money at skate parks and do, events and all that. I think that whether it be like the, competition aspect of it, I think aside from that, like it gives also inner city kids like a chance to not be in the streets, doing what could be, they could be doing, selling or, being a part of a gang or, stealing or whatever. It keeps them occupied and maybe introduces them to other kids from different, like me. And so I was exposed to so many different types of kids from so many different socioeconomic backgrounds. And the thing that we had in common was we wanted to be out there and getting better at our craft and pushing each other and, exchanging ideas and music and knowledge. So I think that's the beautiful part.
When was the last time you skated?
When was the last time I skated? So actually recently, one of my clients did a photo shoot at a skate park. Yeah. And so I just went and picked up my board and skated around a little
My
bit.
favorite memory of skateboarding is watching Rocket Power.
Rocket Power was elite. Rocket Power was up there. I loved Rocket Power too.
It was Pharrell and Rocket Power.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to skateboard. And I got on a skateboard once.
I love
fell
that.
on my ass and I was like, never again.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. It's also a sport that teaches you a lot of perseverance. I think all sports do, of course, but like there's just something about like it will humble you quick.
Yeah, that is very, very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into Tumbao and owning that moment. You've built Tumbao into a movement. What's the deeper purpose behind it for you?
I think for me, Tumbao has been great because it bridges a gap between different communities around the world. You know, speaking of skateboarding and community, I think DJing is also a big community too.
Yeah.
And so I've been blessed to meet people from Spain, from Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, here in the US, different cities in the US. I've made friends through this whole thing and gone on tour with them, people that I've met on the internet, you know, which is kind of wild. But I guess it's not that wild.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I guess it's not. But yeah, we built this beautiful community, and I think that we filled a void. It's a birth from post-pandemic blues.
Yeah.
Wanting to get back into DJing and wanting to do it by my own accord. And so I saw like a scene bubbling in LA and New York of just like kind of like alternative style music within hip hop and R&B. I saw it with Selection.
Yeah.
And then in LA, I was seeing it also with this collective called Pangea.
Yeah.
And so I took both of those concepts and kind of created my own with Latinidad and seeing all these like cool genres that were bubbling of like dance music from like South Africa and Nigeria and you know, Europe and here around the States, and same with Colombia, etc. And so I put my twist on all that, and yeah, it caught a flame. It's been a nonstop ride since, and I think it's really cool because I feel like even artists recognize the movement and see like the value in it too, and see how, you know, a night can be all different types of genres: reggaeton, Afrobeats, amapiano, house music, baile funk.
Yeah.
And so they see it also in the sense that they can reflect that into their own project and be like, we can't just be like a reggaeton artist. We have so many different genres that we can appease to. And I just want to show people that it's, you know, the purpose I think is that, yeah, there's a lot more out there than, you know, what maybe you listen to in your radio or in your headphones or whatever.
If someone wants to get involved, how would they get involved with Tumbao?
I feel like just showing up.
Yeah.
Showing up and supporting, yeah. I feel like we've created such a community that it's very open. You know, anybody can come and, you know, strike up a chat and ask. And if they want to learn about DJing, if they want to learn about music, if they want to learn about, you know, maybe the more business side of it. I've had conversations with people that are interested in all those aspects. There's beauty in sharing the keys, as I like to say, you know, sharing the knowledge.
Have you realized that so much of what you do and all the different hats you wear is like all rooted in community?
I guess not. But now you say it, yeah.
No, like I'm like from skateboarding to the work that you do, even the artists that you've worked with are ones that have really strong community presence and identity. And then now you're talking about Tumbao and it's like all again back rooted in community.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, maybe I'm having an aha moment right now, but yeah, it's true. I think that stronger we're together, and I think that, you know, at the end of the day, we all have similar interests. We all like the same thing, and not to get too woke about it, but yeah, like we all want to feel good. We all want to be proud. We all want to work together and, you know, excel. And I think that that's maybe why.
Yeah. No, and I'm saying it because I think it's so important, and like it's interesting to see and hear you speak, and I'm like, all these things are connected. They all feel very separate, but somehow they're all connected because they're all rooted in the same thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Right?
Okay, so I'm going to ask you some playful debate questions. So we're going to get right into it.
You're not going to get me in trouble, right?
I'm not going to get you in trouble. Okay. And if you want to skip, we'll let you plead the fifth on like one question. Okay, so do you feel like Latin music is finally being understood or just repackaged?
Oof.
I'm going to start with a deep one first.
No, I think that Latin music has always been a constant.
Yeah.
I think that maybe if you want to call it repackaging, but repackaging is such an ugly phrase.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's been around like just as long as like, you know, some of the genres we enjoy today. Like you want to go back to the 70s and, talk about, salsa or whatever. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's been across the board and it just keeps evolving and it's cyclical. And I think that's just history. History is cyclical.
Yeah.
So I don't think that repackaging is the word, but I think it's cyclical.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just hate when people use the word boom.
Yeah.
Like the blank boom. Like
No.
I'm like, no, it's what do you mean boom?
Like if you want to even use reggaeton as an example, which is the more contemporary topic, it's the same thing. Like we had, it started in Panama, then it came to Puerto Rico, then it had like a lull, and in that lull, like it explored electronic music, and then it came to Colombia, and then it went back to Puerto Rico, and then it went across everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think it's cyclical.
Yeah. So let's settle it once and for all. Puerto Rico versus Colombia, best live show energy. I feel like you might say Colombia, but
oh my God. I think the two best examples I could put of live shows. Oof, that's hard, man.
ooh, yeah.
It's hard. I think Puerto Rico, I mean, Benito just does such a great job. I feel like he's just he gets it, and especially for all different types of demos. I think that I love artists that can put it, like you're talking about live, can create a world and immerse you in it. And when you're in that world for the next 2 hours or 3 hours, you're not thinking of anything else. And you're in this, like, whatever it might be, whether, it was like the ring or it was the 18-wheeler that he had or, whatever, like Un Verano Sin Ti, it was the beach. Like you're immersed in that world. And I think that the counterpart to Colombia would be Fade. And I know I'm a little biased, but it's the same thing. Like he also immerses you in this world of like just green and flame and like action sports and all this craziness. And so I think that you just get immersed into these worlds, and I think they do it best, you know? And then if you're talking about like bands and stuff like that, I mean, I can keep going on, or salsa. You tell me how long you want this interview to be, but no, I don't think there's a one over the other. I think that Colombians will always forever be appreciative of what Puerto Rico has done and what Boricuas have done and how they've opened their arms to us. Yeah. And I think that that's the main point. And I think that you can talk to any Colombian artist and they'll always pay their respect to the Puerto Rican artists. It's always going to be a fun, friendly rivalry. It's never like that deep. Yeah,
I love that.
It's always in the comments that
Yeah. But, take us back to those 2020 pandemic going back and forth. I wonder if anyone did like a Puerto Rico versus Colombia.
Like a versus?
Yeah, versus.
They should have. That would have been tight.
If anyone has any archive of that, bring it up.
That would be tight.
Okay, so what trend in Latin music do you want to see die? If any. You don't have to have one, but.
I think reggaeton artists need to stop dressing head to toe in Balenciaga. Just let that die already, please. Like, there's so many other brands.
There's so many good designers, and like, I'm not saying Balenciaga is a bad designer. I'm saying like, there's just so many things to like experiment with and like try different designers and styles.
I think fashion is important. I think it's identity, and if that's your identity is just going to a store and buying head to toe in one thing, I feel like you're not doing yourself a service.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. What artists, past or present, would you kill to do a set with?
You know who I would love to do tumbao with, and I think this is going to come as a surprise to whoever watches this. I think like Hector Lavoe.
Ooh.
I just feel like, man, salsa is just elite, and I feel like anyone of any age can get down, and that guy was just the guy. Yeah, he was him. Yeah, and he got it too. He's also Nuyorican, so he had the U.S. culture in mind, but also the Latin background, and so like I think that like a live set from him and kind of adding to that in a contemporary way would be epic. Yeah. That's a good one. I feel like you keep bringing it back to salsa. I'm like, I think that salsa is just it's beautiful because I feel like it's the gap between our, whether it be our family, our parents, and us. Dance. It brought also fashion too. And I think that just musicality wise, like it's just like it's a Latin form of jazz almost, you know? and I love jazz
Yeah.
too. So yeah, I think they're just like some of the best musicians. The themes that we're talking about were very much like can be relatable into even like a reggaeton song. You know, like you see Pedro Navaja, that's like pretty
Yeah.
dark, deep kind of stuff. You know, that's the streets.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love that. I have a friend the other day that was like, I hate jazz. And I was like,
how?
how? So you just hate music?
Yeah, just say it.
Just say that. That's
Yeah.
what you. She's gonna kill me because she listens to all my podcast episode. I didn't say your name, all right? I'm like, how can you hate jazz? That's like
Yeah.
such a big part of music. Like,
It's such a big influence in our everyday.
and it's the same thing with salsa. So how do you feel about the conversations about people saying that salsa is dying, like, or like more traditional genres are like on the path to dying out?
No, I think that's not true because I feel like we still see artists like Benito and Rao, for example, did a
Just
whole
salsa,
thing around it.
Yeah.
I think that forever and ever until Latinidad is over, that you can put a salsa song in a home or in a house party and it's gonna go off. Like I don't think that that's true. I think people need to be more brave and create more salsa.
Yeah.
And I have some friends actually who are from Colombia and from Spain, ironically, who are creating a whole salsa album and concept.
Wow.
And they're electronic DJs.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
But that's the thing. You have to also allow for genres to kind of evolve while sticking to some of the traditional elements, of course. But like, let's have fun with it as well to see it appeal to like younger generations.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I would love for people to continue releasing like with the traditional sound.
For sure. No, and I think that it's important. I think it's important to hold up those sounds and keep them culturally relevant. I think that we're always going to enjoy that sound. Yeah.
So, okay, before I let you go, I have to know, if I give you the aux and I say, play the best reggaeton song of all time, are you going Tego again or are you going to pick another song?
Okay, I'm going to pick another song just because I'm a DJ, so I'll never play a song twice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'd have to say something from Wisin y Yandel from Pal Mundo. And if I'm thinking DJ, and maybe this is not the best song of all time, but the one that just comes into mind because I said DJ, but I love playing La Barria from Pal Mundo in my DJ sets. It's just a classic. It just always goes off, and it has like very much feel of like dance hall and reggaeton and just like Caribbean vibes that is just has been so replicated in so many different ways by so many different artists between Nicky Jam and Bad and Fade and everyone. Like they create like this very it's almost like playero.
Yeah.
Like it comes from that.
Yeah. I feel like my answer is predictable. I would do Ragata.
Rakata is a solid answer too. Rakata is...
That's if you give me the aux and you're like, yo, play...
Rakata has me going back to elementary school, like figuring out what dancing...
When we should not have been listening to it.
Yes. Rakata.
What's next for you?
What's next for me? Continuing to grow High Frequency, my agency. Continue expanding with Tumbao. And having fun and being happy.
I love that. Because we started the conversation with a tough time for you, and now you having gotten out of that time, and of course, life's a journey, and we're ebbs and flows, and to now hear you being happy and doing your own thing, it's incredible.
I'm happier than ever.
Yeah. Yay! Yeah. Okay, so I start every episode with what's on my mind. So I'm going to ask you, what is on your mind?
What's on my mind?
And it could be anything. Pop culture, what are you watching? Anything that's been consuming you in the last few days, weeks.
You know what? Speaking of Pharrell and all that, the recent album he just put out with the clips, that's been on.
I haven't listened.
I mean, it's heavy, but it's really, really good. I think that aside from the artists themselves, the clips, which is by the way, my first album that I ever purchased was the clips. So to see it come full circle with Pharrell still on production, I think that the man at 52 is still killing it. I mean, he's a testament to what it is to have, being hardworking and keeping relationships. So, I mean, imagine my first CD ever is that, and he's still, what is that, like 20 something years later, has the same relationship with these two guys and creating a masterpiece. Like, it's going to be one of those Grammy nominated albums.
You can tell Pharrell loves loves his work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a man that loves what he does.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything that he touches.
Yeah.
It's like,
So yeah, that's my topic that's been on my mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Excited to follow along on your journey that continues to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Remezcla. One thing that has stayed true throughout my years of being in this industry, Remezcla has been on my side. I will say that.
Yeah.
They've always, had open arms to my crazy ideas or my artists that I want to pitch to. Or So I just want to say thank you to Remezcla, to Joel, if you're watching this. And
you better be watching. No, of course. Sure. I think what we resonate with from the brand is that community perspective, because that's what Remezcla is all about. So I think that's why we have that good synergy and wanting to work with you and listen to all your crazy ideas.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for listening, and see you soon. Down to a T.